So yesterday we have seen what were the different constructs that were there in VHDL, like your design units. I think 5 units were seen. Your entity, architecture body. Third one was configuration declaration, package declaration, and package body. Okay, so exactly what is the major division you can take is entity and this architecture. Okay, this entity is defining your netlist. Yesterday we have seen, and this one total, what you say, the setup or the design description. Okay, so what is this entity declaration? How it will be done? Is say something like a simple, a usual say full adder itself, if you want to take, or else half adder. Let us take a simplest form. So our half adder major schematic, or what you say, the major netlist will be the elements what you are taking for input and what were the outputs, sum and carry. So these are user defined things. Okay, you can name any thing for, you can give any name for your input and output, and that has to be declared. By the way, is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So entity declaration will be done as entity in your this thing. Verilog, it will be module. Okay, and this is user defined. I'll write this in another font. I can name this. This is user defined. Can be as per the what you say designer's choice. It can be anything. Syntax that in black. Entity, your entity name is. Okay, and here this we call them as ports. These are input ports and output ports. Okay. So these ports declaration will be done by your entity. They are not giving any relation between these ports, but they will be listing out the input ports and output ports. So the syntax for this is the names what with which you are calling them. Say you have plenty number of similar type of inputs. Say actual declaration, each signal will be done by a individual description, whether they are input type or output type sort of thing. So in is in syntax and type is bit, means that this terminal or this input is or what you say X name is input type and the value that it holds is bit value. Okay, so if you have such a type of similar inputs, similar signals or similar elements, you can separate them with a comma, and at a stretch you can define them all together as one single statement. Okay, so this is, I can take it as in bit. So separation of that or ending of this is a what you say a colon you'll be giving, and say sum and carry or both outputs. I'm taking this as come. Okay. and these are outputs. So out and the type of value it holds is bit. So ending should be simple. Okay, and end the entity. So after you declare the ports, that means your input ports and output ports, every element we have defined here. Four are there, two inputs and two outputs.
Ma'am,
You need to, yeah,
it means it's meaning that it's binary, no, ma'am?
bit value binary. What is the definition will be given by the package body actually. But the meaning of bit is a bit value. Okay, binary format if you are taking, it is 0 1 format. Decimal you take, it is the value what you define with. Okay, single value. It means single value. Okay,
Okay, but ma'am, if what if we need to define an
what if you need to complete this sentence? I couldn't hear the whole complete query. Okay. So after you start the entity, you declare the ports, you need to end the entity. Ending will be with the same uh, name with which you have named here. Okay. So the same name. If you are putting this to different, it says that entity is not complete or closed. Okay. Incomplete entity declaration it will give. So here in your VHDL, if you put any two dashes in front of any sentence, that becomes a statement. Okay, it becomes a comment line. Okay, so comment will be entered with two dashes. Anything you put, it becomes a comment line. Okay, so this is very simple. Your entity declaration will be very simple, and only one user defined element will be there. That is the name of the entity. That's all. And the other things are something like this. Here, whatever the ports or port names you are giving as input and output, when this entity is called into another design, it should be called with the same names. Same names. Say, why I have taken this is, say, if I'm taking a full edition, this full adder, if I'm designing that using a half adder sort of thing. So the same half adder, if I call here, say this is X and Y it should be, because this is the half adder what is defined here. Okay, that same half adder will be taking. So sum and carry will be taken. So now this your what was the comment? Comment I cannot read because this is full screen. Someone read it out.
Ma'am, will that work in Verilog also?
Ah, Verilog, that will be with your ash, no? This is for VHDL we're taking. And see here, this top level design, the top level design inputs, say A of B and C of I minus 1, whatever we name, should be linked with independent inputs of that component. So that's the thing, like we need to remember the component. If I take this as the entity and that is called into a major design, some other design, so this becomes the components. These components, the original names with which they are called with, should be linked with the top level design. That means X is equal to A, Y is equal to B sort of thing. Okay. Say if I say that this is sum and carry. Sum will be S, carry will be C. That means you need to properly link them. Okay, that means connecting them. Okay, that connecting thing will be done by the configuration body or your configuration declaration, whatever you are doing. So I think no much explanation is needed regarding this entity declaration. It is as simple as directly considering something like the input ports and output ports. Now, maybe if uh, this element, any single line or any input or output is carrying more than one value, then we can call it as a bit vector. We can call it as bit vector. Say as a simple example, say something like mux is there. Say mux input. Say if you name this as A0, A1, A2, and A3 are your inputs of a mux. Okay, I can define A as the in bit. Okay, so means that for each and every one iteration or one value, and bit vector, you can define this as increasing order or decreasing order. If you are taking this increasing 0 to 3 or else 3 to 0. This way also you can take. So this is the type of the values you are declaring there. Okay, this means single value. This means set of values. So different values based on the what you say the vector value you are taking, your bit value will be changing. Okay, so that is something related to entity. Now this architecture body, the second one. Now this architecture body is something which gives the internal details of the entity, and yeah, this has different modeling styles. Your architecture body elaborates the entity. Okay, so different styles you have. Maybe it can be taken as set of connected components. That means this is structural style of modeling. Or it can be said or taken as set of concurrent assignment statements. So concurrent statements means something like this is data flow style. Or else it can be set of sequential assignment statements. That means this is behavior style of modeling. Behavior style of modeling. So actually, any one style of modeling you can easily take. Some complexity is more where you feel is like some can be declared in structural style, some can be easily declared in data flow or the behavior. You can club them together also. That we call it as mixed style of modeling. So, or the other way is the mixed style of modeling. You say. Something like say here, you have another construct here, OR gate is coming here, say. And maybe instead of taking a structure and defining, I can simply say that this is output is equal to AB, A or B, or combination if you are taking. That means it's a data flow. Okay. So this if you can take with a structural style, this if you take with a data flow, or this you can take with a behavior style and the other thing in data flow, combine them, it becomes a mixed style of modeling. So if you know this style of modeling is only combination of the other three. Okay, so the first style of modeling will take the structural. The structural style needs some information regarding the components, or what you say the logic gates, what you are using, okay? Or what you say the schematic information is needed. The elements that are called into this design, they are called as components. So something like this, say if I have this half adder to be implemented, what is that internal we have? How many ways you can put this? Sum and carry. What is this? This is your XOR gate, no? And this will be your AND gate. Okay. So directly, this elements, if I take it from the library, because I don't need to again design an XOR gate or AND gate, because these are the elements that are already available in the library. Okay, so these will be the components that you call from the library, IEEE library, the already stored in constructs. Okay, what you need to do is you have to link your top design with the inputs with which they are declared, or with the names with which they are declared. Say these are given by say AB, and say S. This will be the same if it is say PQ and R. That means this information you need to find out from the available functions in the library. Okay, so that will be taken into the model and you will be interlinking them. Okay. So here we try to use something called as port map statements. The ports of the component will be mapped with the ports of the major design. That is the meaning, port mapping. And here we have different types of port mapping. Something like positional port mapping is there, and signal defined port mapping is there. Two ways you have. Let me define this first of all. So how do we write is entity? You begin that with entity as it is, and after declaring the entity, end the entity, you need to write the architecture. And what style of modeling we are writing? This is user defined. This will be user defined. Okay. Of what is the entity name you have taken? The same thing you have to take here. Is. That means here, say if you take half adder, to end that with half adder, okay, and the architecture struct, anything, any name you can give, struct underscore HA, some name we are giving for just for our own identification of the same entity name you call. Is the syntax. Okay. Now, immediately after your architecture, before you begin the architecture, you have to declare the components that are used in this structure. So, for half adder, what are the structures we will be using? XOR structure we will be using, or structure, sorry, AND structure we will be using. Okay. To be specific, if say in your library, if it is given as 2 input XOR, XOR2 sort of thing, that same name you have to call here. Okay, so component, this is the syntax again. Component, what is the name with which this component is defined in the library? With the same name we have to call it. If it is given as XOR2, call it with XOR2, the same name. Okay, this is defined by the entity of that component. Okay, so this will be giving you the information of what are the ports with which that component is declared. Okay, with which that component is declared. I am naming this as AB. Okay, in bit, and S is the out bit. These are the original ports of the component. Now, end the component is the syntax. There is no need for any other information regarding the name, what you are ending. It is end component. After this, another component is there. So begin the component. What is that component name you give? Say AND gate with the 2 input AND, if it is there in the library, give it the same name. Port, and this we are giving, say, P and Q are the in bits, and R is your out bit. So again, you end the component. Finished. So whatever the components you are taking, if you are repeating this for n number of times, if the similar component is getting repeated, there is no need to write that n number of times. One time declaration of the component, you can repeatedly use that component for n number of times. So basic definition, or what you say, basic declaration of the components should be done. Okay, now this architecture will be begin. You need to begin the architecture. Okay, now here we have these port map statements used. Okay, just for identification, I'm taking, say this segment is, say, XOR 1, and say this is AND 1. Two statements I'm giving it because only two components are there, two port maps I'm taking. This is user defined. Just for our identification, yeah, we can take. Or else directly you can write the port map also. Okay. This port map of XOR to this component, the statement is port map is the syntax. Okay. Now here, if I give this port map statement, see, if my major design half adder inputs and outputs are X, Y, sum and carry, what I will do here is this port map. Okay, I'll do that with X, Y, and sum. Actual XOR names or the ports of the XOR are A, B, and S, na? But we are giving X, Y, sum. Here, this type of port mapping where we are not giving any signal assignment thing is, this we call it as positional assignment. Positional assignment in the order of the port signals that are declared. In the same order or in the same positions, these signals will be assigned. See, what is the order here declared is A, B, S. These are your order of the port declaration of the component XOR2. Now, in this port mapping statement XOR2, we are defining this as XY sum, means that X will be connected to or mapped with A of your XOR. This is top level design. Y will be mapped with B, and sum will be mapped with S. This we are not defining whether they are inputs or outputs or what sort of signal and all. That means whatever the position it is, that directly it will be linking in the same order. This is positional port mapping, positional assignment. Okay, and The other way is that I can use something like this is positional association or positional mapping you can take. Some order of shuffling you want, say. I don't want to have in the same order. Like a few of the signals I can skip, or few of the signals I'm not using, or I don't want to use the same order. That means you can play with the things now. I can have a signal assignment symbol. This is your signal assignment. This is not less than or equal. This is signal assignment. Whatever you are declaring towards your right side will be assigned to left side. Okay, here I can take this way. See, say B is assigned with I, and say my S is assigned with, and say A is assigned with X. Say if this statement I'm giving in this port map, XOR 2 port map, I can give this statement or this statement. See here, I can change the order. This is second input, first input, and output. I can change the order. You can shuffle them. What is the advantage here is the order in which you assign is defined by the designer, and any signals that you don't want to assign, you can skip them. Only the signals what you want to assign, you can use them. Okay. So both the ways you can do. The second statement, and to port map. What are the things? X comma Y comma carry. Semicolon. Now end the architecture with the same name of the architecture. What was the name given? Is struct underscore HA. The same. User default. This is simple. Okay. So what is the prerequisite? Is the information regarding the components that you are using should be known to you. Okay, and this will be completed within the two statements, because only two signals you have here. That port mappings you are doing, like how many components you are using, that many port map statements will be taken. Say a design is there where you are using AND gates 4 times. Say. An OR gate is there. Say. This is the output. A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay. Now say this is X, Y, Z is the component. Now AND gate is repeated thrice. The same two input AND gate we are using, but they are used thrice with different inputs of the top level design and one OR gate. How many components are needed to declare? How many components are needed to be declared?
You have to declare two components, ma'am.
Only
Or
two components. AND gate, one OR gate. Okay. So here, if you are declaring AND gate, that port will be declared with as XY as input. Okay. And your will be your output. And your OR gate the same way it will be. Say PQR. P is Q and the output is R. Say. You'll be declaring that as the port. This is the component declaration I'm giving you. And you will be giving this as PQ as in. okay, and put map E comma F comma S3 for OR gate or port map. What is that? Here P Q and 3 input now. P Q R, S is taken as say T. P Q T are in and S is out, say. Let me take this. What is the declared here? R is taken as out. Okay. R is your out. So this was your OR gate. So 3 input OR gate if you are taking, you are declaring that as S1, S2, the port map, S3, which relates to PQT, and your R will be what?
N.
N. That is your final output of the design. Now here you need to end the architecture. What is the name we have given? Structure dot gate sort of thing, underscore gate name. So this is the way we need to give the declarations. Okay. So any signal that is related to your design, to that local design, you need to declare that after the component declaration before beginning the architecture. Okay, this is the position where your signals has to be declared. Okay, this is clear. Now, normally, if the designs are less complex, directly the positional mapping will be taken, or else they will be taken for signal mapping, positional association or signal associations. Okay. If the complexity is less, positional mapping is the best choice. Okay. So the next style of modeling, say data flow. This data flow style of modeling is very simple because this is something which defines or which is based on the Boolean difference, sorry, not difference, Boolean functions or Boolean equations. As simple as that. Say for a half adder, if you need to write, your entity will never change in any style of modeling. Entity will be same. Only the architecture format only it is changing for every style of modeling. So for a half adder, if you take, what are the outputs that we are declaring, or what are the equations of the outputs is sum and carry. Now this sum and carry, say what was the half adder xy sum and carry. Okay. So we have taken this as x XOR of y and x and or. This is your statement actually, but normally this is x or y, and this will be your x and y. No? This will be your equation. No? So here, this will be the statement. The same equation, Boolean equation, will be reflected with the predefined logical operators. These are the predefined logical operators available in the library. Okay. So how do we write this is same. We need to give the entity architecture. Okay. Say I'm taking this data flow is user defined of half adder is. This is also the same name one. Directly there are no need of like signals something there. If you have signals as we have seen in the previous example, in data flow, that signal declaration should be done immediately after your architecture beginning statement. Okay, before you actually begin the architecture, you need to give the signal statements if any are there. Okay, if not directly, you can write the statements. Okay, so for this example, there are no signals. So this is a comment I'm putting in. I'm beginning the architecture. What are the statements that has to be given is your name of your output that will be assigned with a, oh sorry, not a, this is x, XOR of y, and carry is x and y. And here what is that we can do now? If you are leaving this statement like this, okay, immediately after any change on x and y, any change on these two inputs, there will be an XOR evaluation done, and your output of this will be assigned to sum. Okay, this is immediate assigning. If you want to add some delay, you can do that in the statements here. Something like after 10 nanoseconds means that first evaluate the output, that means the operator outcome of XORing that on X and Y. Wait for 10 nanoseconds, then assign that to sum. Say if you can give here, say 5 nanoseconds. This means that after 5 nanoseconds, the carry will be updated. This is the meaning of this now. Okay, so intentional delays can be given. And I think yesterday we have taken this capabilities sort of thing. You can add some intentional delays to the design. This is and the data flow. It's your data flow style of modeling. Very simple. You need to know the Boolean equations, that's all. And the signals needs to be defined before the beginning of the architecture, immediately after your architecture statement. Okay. And the other style of modeling, behavior style, and maybe this means something called as a truth table sort of thing. Truth table in the sense, something like what is the relation between your input and output should be clearly indicated in the form of if then else statement. The form of if then else statement. For this we need the truth table. Now say for your half adder, if you are taking x, y, sum and carry, if you are taking, what is that you need to write is if x is 0, y is 0, sum is 0, carry is 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. That means all the statements, all the conditions need to be expressed in the form of if then else conditions. Okay, so this is your 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. How do you write this is your entity, everything is same. Now here, architecture, say behavior of half adder is, that is your statement. That's now here immediately you have a begin operation that has to be done. That means you have to begin the architecture, and here you need to define this as the process of generating the outputs. Okay, so something like a process needs to be initiated or begin immediately after the beginning of architecture. Okay, and here what is this process means that when your behavior starts, will be elaborated in the next statements. The process statements will be giving the detailed function of the, or what you say, the relation of your inputs and outputs. And these fellows can be initiated with what is called as sensitivity list. Say if you have a clock, if you have some another control signal sort of thing, anything like whatever you name here in this bracket becomes sensitivity and means that whenever an event is happening on the what you say defined parameter, then the next statements will be iterated. That is the meaning. Sensitivity list is whenever there is an event happening on the parameters what you are listing in this bracket, then the iteration will begin. And here, something like this, signal declarations or variable declarations should be done after you begin the what you say architecture and after the process statement. The difference here you should find out. See, in your structural and data flow, your signal declarations should be done before the beginning of architecture, and that should be done after the component declaration in structural style and after the architecture statement in the data flow style. That you have to remember now. For behavior style, any sort of signals or variables should be declared after you begin the architecture and after the process statement is given. Any set of signals or variables will be declared here. Okay. Anything which is related to this segment only will be defined here. They are not universal. You need to remember that now. Now, after this, you need to begin the process. We initiated the process. First, what we have done, we have initiated the architecture and we have begun the architecture. Then we have declared some sensitivity elements in the sensitivity list of the process statement. Okay. Then any declaration of signals or variables, if they are there, will be declared, and after that we need to begin the process. We need to begin the process. Okay. The process means that you are defining the truth table in detail. What is that you are doing is begin. Okay, you have a parameter declared in this sensitivity list. Now I need to do a statement which initiates the next steps based on the condition of this sensitivity list. So begin if clock event, this is one statement according to syntax, clock event and the clock is equal to 1, then this is syntax, means that a parameter of clock, what is there in sensitivity list, some event is happening on this clock and that event happens to be 1. That means 0 to 1 transition, I'm taking the iteration. If I define this as 0, it means that it is 1 to 0 transition. So here the statement declares that if the event happening is going from 0 to 1, then that is the statement we are giving. If then else statements. Okay. Then we need to start this now. Then if, one more if I am starting, if x comma or else x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0, then your sum is 0. That means total statement we need to write. Carry is 0. Else. Again, here if this statement is given as else, you need to define this as if, one more if statement to define the next condition. Okay. Here one caution is that how many ifs are taken, that many end ifs has to be written at the end of the code, because if you don't end that if, it will be in infinite loop. Your program won't come out of that loop. It won't give you an output. It won't be like truncating that loop. So how many ifs you are starting, that many end ifs has to be given at the end of this program. So in order to avoid some confusion, or in order to avoid many ifs, else if statement if you take directly, that means within the one if you are trying to take all the conditions. Okay, else if, taking out this one, else if, that means all conditions we are writing, else if y is equal to 0, y is equal to 1, then sum is 1, carries 0, else if the next condition, else if the next condition. See how many ifs we have started here? Only one if. This is our main if that we have started to define all the four conditions. So else if the last condition. So how many ifs I need to end? Here is only one. If I take this as if condition, else if here, that many ifs I need to end. And if, that means 4 end ifs here, and one more if here, one more if here. Altogether 5 ifs I need to end. So it's best to take else if statement. So finally, after writing the 4 statements according to this table, according to this, finally you need to end if. This will end this one. This will be one loop. Okay, one more if we have started here. So for this, one more end if. What else we begin? We begin the process, no? So end the process. What else we have begun? Architecture we have begun. So end architecture. That means architecture with the same name, no? Architecture, that is behavior. Okay. So that completes your total. How many you have opened, that loops will be truncated now. Is this clear? Here we are cutting down some 4 ifs here by using this else if. Okay. So this is what we are taking, like the 4 or 3 styles of modeling. 3 styles of modeling. So for every program in your behavior style, you need to begin the architecture, you need to begin the process, and you need to begin the if statements. Okay, for loops also you can use. Okay, some condition in a loop format you need to take, for loop also can be taken. How many ifs or fors you have started, that many ends of ifs or fors has to be done. Okay, and how many process you have begun, that many process has to be end, and finally the architecture has to end. Okay, this is all something total complete, what you say, styles of modeling in your VHDL. You have plenty other what you say, combinations, like mixed style of modeling you can take, something like this. Say a loop statement, if you are using loop statement. Say for count is the same user defined sort of thing. In 1 to 10 loop, this is the statement we are giving in. What is the meaning of this? Is the syntax is for in loop is the syntax. were into loop is the syntax. Okay, this is the user defined. Say I'm counting, I'm increasing the count, I'm increasing the count. This is instantaneous assigning without delay. Okay, this is sum plus of the count, plus of the count. End the loop means that for 10 times this will be incremented. 10 times it will be iterated. Okay. So this is all something what you need to learn regarding your VHDL programming. So here in your simulation thing, what are the things that are there? Like you have elaboration phase and the initialization phase. Yesterday I have given the statements now. What is that that will be done in elaboration phases? This will be taking something like entity expansion and linking of the components, and it will be trying to interlink the top level design to your component constructs that you are declaring inside the architecture. Okay, all the declarations that you are doing, that means your signals, variables, everything, that assigning of these fellows to your components and the top level design will be done in your elaboration phase. And in your initialization phase, this will be giving the effective values to the netlist that is created when you are elaborating the signals. The ports that you are declaring, for that the true values, what you define with, will be assigned. The values will be assigned, then it will be simulated. Okay, so actually if you need to start writing in your VHDL, we need to have these statements before we write the entity and all. Something like library IEEE. These are fixed statements. Means that we are using the IEEE library, the standard to which the components or your library functions are already present. Those libraries we are using. Okay, use IEEE dot standard underscore logic underscore logic. And what is the package with what we are using? 1164 was the package. And dot arith, if you take, it will take only arithmetical operators. If you take all, means all operators, including arithmetic and logic operators that are there in the IEEE library. Okay. STD indicates standard logic. Standard logic of the package 1164 and all functions related to be taken. This is the standard beginning syntax of the program. Then you will be writing, after writing this, you will be writing entity and all. But in your Verilog, how did you begin? It's direct module, no? Module with port declarations and the body declarations. That's all.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the small difference you have. You need to import the libraries. That means you are calling this with these two statements. You are importing all the library functions that are available in IEEE standard library. Okay, and see IEEE. Whatever the already designed and saved library functions, you'll be calling. That means some basic functions like your all logic gates or logical operators. Those things, there is no need for you to again rewrite or redesign them as entities. Directly, you can go to the library of IEEE and you can find out what are all the available built-in constructs. Then that directly with the same port map, port statements, you can call them as a components into your design. Okay. Some portability aspect, if you want to see, you need to explore the library of IEEE. That is for your VHDL aspect we are saying. Okay. So this is all about your VHDL programming, the basics. Maybe you start practicing parallelly with the Verilog. This gives you a little bit, what you say, ease of writing the Verilog also, if you practice this both in VHDL and Verilog. And this is more useful for your interviews also. Okay. Okay, then I'll stop the session now. And I have reading at 45.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.